Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here. Get ready for Gnosis. Well, welcome everyone. Let's talk about an important area that I get questions for all the time. Anytime you use a particular tool, device, whatever you want to call it, and it doesn't really matter if it's from me or from someone else. And of course, I recognize the fact that there's a lot of tools out there. They're all very inferior to what I produce, but you've got them, use them. What do you project with it? Now, the laws of manifestation are pretty clear and strict, something people misunderstand, but they certainly are something that is very, very important to understand. And, very few people understand the laws of manifestation. What is manifesting? Well, manifesting is an art form. It is a science as well. And what does it take to manifest? Too many people have been brainwashed by liars and deceivers out there that tell them they can easily manifest with their tool, with their extra amount that you spend on their tools. And it's just going to pop up in front of you like some sort of Hollywood magic lamp. Well, anybody that talks like that, you should grab your wallet, put your hand on your wallet, and run as fast as you can. I would suggest if you're carrying a firearm at that particular time to pull it out as you're running, which I recommend people carry as well. But the bottom line is that we have this really bizarre understanding perpetrated by a bunch of profit gouging liars and cheats, otherwise known as the real world. Neo, he figured it out, but they didn't tell him what the real world was. They told him what the fake world of the Matrix is. And the Matrix is another fake world. But we'll get into that in other discussions. Now, the number of actual intentions for manifesting that you can do at a particular time, depending on the actual tool, device, etc., usually is one at a time, unless you have a huge empowerment. Now, what I'm doing right now is I have put together some very potent, super powerful 200, actually 400 watt empowerments, so that you can add multiple intentions to one particular tool. But this is not available right now. It will be coming. Watch for those, including extremely powerful protection tools, which seems to be the key to everything. But we'll talk about that in a different actual video. But the bottom line is that if you get a tool from us or anything else, you're basically looking at one intention at a time, which you should run for a period of 7 to 10 days, basically a week. After that week, you can change the intention. Let's say you were trying to have an intention to get a job. And so you run that for 7 to 10 days, then you switch over to another intention. Maybe it's just money, maybe it's health, etc. You run that again for 7 and 10 days. There really isn't enough energy to run things for any large or long, multiple intentions. So if you try and empower success, love, and protection, healing, etc., all in one intention, you cannot do it, and this will create failure. There just isn't enough energy. Life is an energetic pool, and that energy is not limitless. Energy is finite, regardless of whether it is scalar in nature or non-scalar in nature. And this is one of the problems that people have to understand in general. So if you have a particular energy you're dealing with, it's finite. It is not unlimited. And one of the major problems is that the tools you have to use, particularly produced by others, have very small, low, tiny, goofy empowerments in them. So they're producing very low energy. They're either completely based in, quote, psychic power, the biophysical, which is very weak and very limited, Or if they do have any kind of amplification, it's pathetically small and generally only in the basically electromagnetic, basically in transistors and other things, because they're not using tools that really amplify. Only Off-World Tech does all this and produces the finest tools and gets the greatest results. One of the most important things is also, as we will be coming out with soon, is the fact that ultimately it seems to be protection that is so important. You have so much negativity around you that you're constantly trying to bang out of, spear, explode, whatever it is, the energy fields around you so you can produce and draw into you prosperity, well-being, etc. So if you don't have a very strong protective tool, it makes it even more difficult. But in general, you should be doing one particular empowerment at a time. And of course, by the laws of manifestation, which are very strict, very sensible, and proven, is that you have to have channels for anything to come to you. So if you expect to meet somebody, well, I'm watching Gilligan's. Yeah, he can make amazing things with coconuts. Gilligan is a genius. So the whole idea, if you're sitting on your couch watching Gilligan's Island or one of my other favorite, Green Acres, and I don't know how many young'uns know these things, but the bottom line is that this kind of idiot entertainment is about the level of society. So if you think you're going to pile a bunch of things on one area, and this is all going to manifest at the same time, you're going to have prosperity, you're going to have love, you're going to have health, you're going to have everything together, I'm afraid you're wrong. It doesn't work like that. We have to be very, very careful of understanding the laws of manifestation. So what you really want to do is be in a constant state of rotation. So if you have any one of a number of tools, no matter what they are, you want to go from prosperity to love drawing to protection to success to whatever it is in your life that you're seeking. And basically you just go in and change the actual disc for that purpose that you have. Now we have many different discs. There are some general use discs. These are antennas, amplifiers, etc. And these are used with every single empowerment that you use. Then there are specific. Now, when you put these in, your antennas, your broadcasting discs, your amplification discs, you then put in a main object that you're trying to manifest. Money, success, health, etc. So these are the things that you then insert with that. But if you insert money and health and protection all together in one particular tool, you have caused a very low level of projection to happen. So you're draining all the energy into multi-intentions, which works poorly. The only way to overcome that is to have numerous different actual machines, which each machine is dedicated to a particular purpose. Now, people who are really into all this stuff usually end up having 5 to 10 different machines so they can have one with protection, one with success, one with money, etc. This way you're not bringing down the actual energy. So this is what you do in the long run, because that's the nature of scalar radionic energies, is the fact that they are specifically based, and that energy cannot be diluted into multiple different energies to draw to you. The only way you can overcome this is by having multiple machines which are putting out the same energy for each machine. So if you have one machine, you expect it to do the task of 3 or 4, well, it's just not going to work. So I hope everyone understands that. So the way you get around this is for 7 to 10 days, you generally pick one item. That could be success. After 10 days, you change it over to health. After 10 days again, you can go back to success or whatever you want. So you're constantly running this rotating pattern. The other thing is that manifestation can take anywhere from a few days to several months or beyond. It depends on what you're manifesting. It depends on the blockages in your life. How clear are you? Do you have the right tools? Are you doing the right things? Everybody wants a magic lamp that actually can produce everything while they do nothing. This Hollywood fantasy, this delusional toxic, horrific thinking that a lot of people want to think is true because some manufacturer who's making money off you has told you this is the way it's going to work is complete and total fraud. Remember that. It's not that easy. Manifesting in general is very difficult. That's why you're coming to me and getting specific tools. And tools are critical. If you don't have the tools necessary to empower yourself, give yourself the edge in life, generally you're going to fail. Other people have the edge. They have money, they have connections, they have social power, they have political power, they have money power because they have money. You will fail going against those strong people if you're not empowering yourself. Now, if you're empowering yourself, you have that edge against those other people, meaning that you are going to push yourself ahead of the crowd. But a guaranteed manifestation is another fantasy reality perpetrated by liars and cheats that want to sell you their junk technology, or in general in society thinking that somehow the smart guy, the rags to riches stories, which really doesn't happen, and I'm not sure it ever did, but certainly those days are dead in the world, and particularly in America because of the cost of things, is just not a reality. Those guys who are starting these corporations out of Silicon Valley all come from upper middle class to wealthy families. Bill Gates, his father, was a wealthy attorney. We can just go on and on with people doing that. The days of pushing ahead are completely and totally gone. Nobody's able to do that. If someone is successful today, they have connections. Well, how do you get connections? Well, it's very difficult to find those when you're the average peasant. But the point is that my technology brings you up to a very high level so that you can compete. And that's what it's all about. So one of the most important things that we're coming up to, which we have to look at as an understanding, is the fact of protecting yourself from all these negative energies. And these are suppressive energies that stop you from being successful, that push other people ahead of you. So you got to remember that protection is a very multi-layered and complicated situation. There's protection from negative entities, spirits, demons, etc. There's protection from your negative, evil friends and family who put you down. So there's protection from society. So there's all sorts of these different things that you have to fully understand, which is very critical in the manifesting process, which we will be dealing with in other videos and with new products coming out soon. So keeping this all in mind is very, very important. Now, as I said, going back to the original understanding of using any tool, whether it's a radionic tool or whether it's putting your Polaroid picture in one of our numerous energy discs, it all boils down to the fact that you have to be intent upon a particular goal, not several goals. You cannot do several goals at one time. So as I said, go through the rotation, success this week, money next week, health the next week, protection the next week. This is how you rotate things through these particular 7 to 10 day periods so you're able to do it. You cannot pile everything on one thing using the lowest level technology you have, using even our powerful but beginning amplifiers like our desktop models. These are designed to handle common day-to-day problems. If you have something that is beyond that, if you have something you expect to manifest way beyond that as well, if you expect to have a business and make millions or do anything at high levels of success, you need to get more professional type models that are producing energies through lasers, amplifiers, and transmitters as the particular process. Now, we try and keep our prices very low so everybody can have a base manifesting tool. This in itself is very helpful and also very unhelpful in the fact that ultimately you're going to only produce a certain level of empowerment with low-level tools. If you don't invest in the more potent, very strong tools that are offered, well, don't expect to reach high levels of anything. I mean, that's all part of nature. We have to understand that high success requires a high level of dedication. And when it comes to, of course, off world tax, it requires a very minor investment for tools that you're going to use for the rest of your life. But nobody wants that. Everybody wants a dollar manifesting machine that will then bring them millions. And of course, do you really think the universe works like that? Do you think that you're going to invest pennies and get back millions? Well, that's what everybody wants. And I think this is all part of the delusional idiot thinking, the comic book gods you probably believe in, and all the other nonsense that have been shoved down your throat for at least 100 years, and particularly in America for 100 years, that there's some way of being very successful in the American society without investing much. Well, this in itself has pretty much come to an end, but of course, America still is the land of opportunities, the third largest population in the world, with lots of ways to make money that you can't make anywhere else. I mean, whatever society can you go in and buy a box of dirty garbage at Goodwill? Dirty shirts, dirty hats, resell them, and make 50K a year. Only America can you do that, people. Only there, and people have to understand that. So the opportunities in America are certainly the most fantastic on the planet. No other country offers that kind of level of empowerment and opportunities, but it takes work and it takes some smarts and it takes to understand that the corporate reality that people grew up in, particularly my generation and 100% of, we'd say, my father's generation, is to kneel down in front of a corporation because that's the only way you could make money. That is no longer the case. Empower yourself, look for side hustles, as they call it, look for other empowerments, and you will be successful when you empower it. Life is all about empowering what you're doing. So if you do something and you don't empower it using one of our many technologies, our energy disk, our amplifiers, and everything else, well, you're not going to get anywhere. You can get a decent system from us for under $900. You can get a basic manifester for under $100. What are you waiting for, people? If you expect it to be handed to you, you want something for free. Well, there is something for free. It's called the Soup Line. Go line up at your local Goodwill charity and get in line for the cup of soup, which they're more than happy to give you for free. And you can sit down and think about your failed life. Until next time.